What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in. And if you are watching this video, you are probably thinking of getting a Chromebook, or you probably already have a Chromebook and you just want to see if my opinions align with yours. So I wanted to go ahead and make this video because this is based on my experiences with the Chromebook, and I wanted to do like something completely honest and share pros and cons, because this is what people are looking for when they're getting anything. So pros and cons, Samsung Chromebook Plus, just Chromebook in general too. Let's do it. So the first thing I want to talk about is this Chromebook is a 2-in-1, and what that means is that you can use this as a laptop, or you can go ahead and use this as a tablet. And you can go ahead and do other little things too, like put it in tent mode or put it in this mode here. Now this is cool because if you are someone who cannot decide between a laptop and a tablet, why even have to compromise? Just go ahead and go for the 2-in-1. Now as for this 2-in-1 here, again, this is a Samsung Chromebook Plus, and I really like the display. It's really bright, it just looks really good, and it gets really dark if need be, and really bright. And because this is a 2-in-1, you do have a touchscreen, and that not only comes in handy when using tablet mode, but I've also used it when having it in the laptop mode. And if there's something on the screen that I don't want to access with the mouse or the keys, I could just go ahead and put my finger on it and do whatever I need to do. So for anyone looking for a Chromebook, I definitely recommend a 2-in-1. It's definitely worthwhile having the touchscreen, and now that we have access to Play Store and all the Android apps, you're going to want to have that touchscreen too. Speaking of the Play Store, that is another pro here. And if you have a Chromebook and you have access to the Play Store, you know exactly what I mean. Now you can access your favorite Android apps, your favorite Android games, and that in itself is just a really nice feature to have on a Chromebook. And basically it's going to allow you to continue your work from your Android phone onto the Chromebook, and this just makes the relationship between smartphone and Chromebook more intertwined. The next thing I want to talk about is the battery life on this, and it is really good. I get at least 6 hours out of it. I haven't actually measured it. I haven't used a stopwatch or kept track of the time religiously of how long this can run on battery, but it is at least 6 hours. As for charging this, it's really nice because we have the USB Type-C cable here, and it's also a really long cable, and we also have 2 USB Type-C ports on this Chromebook, and that is great because depending on where your outlet is, you can plug this into a good port. And this cable is also nice because you can use it with your USB Type-C compatible smartphone. Now it's time to talk about some cons. Now the Samsung Chromebook Plus only comes with 32 gigabytes of storage, and that is really not a lot. As you can imagine, when you start downloading apps, music, and movies, it's going to fill things up pretty quick. And we all know that you don't actually get the quoted amount. But the good thing is you can use a micro SD card in this, and you can also use a flash drive. But there's a bad thing about that too. The micro SD card and the flash drive, it can be recognized by Chrome OS, but because the Play Store is in beta, a lot of Android apps won't have access to the micro SD card or to the flash drive. They will only have access to the content that is actually stored directly on the internal storage of the Chromebook. And that's a bad thing because you can't store apps on external storage, you can't store songs on external storage that you want to play through apps, you can't store movies on external storage that you want to play through apps. And this just reminds me of the one time that I bought an Android smartphone, and it did have the option to put a micro SD card in it, but you couldn't move your apps from internal storage to external storage onto that micro SD card to help free up space. So the Play Store is in beta, right? So the idea is hopefully the Play Store and the apps will be improved to the point that they can be moved to external storage, or hopefully we could at least place files on external storage and have apps be able to recognize that external storage and get the files. But how long is that going to take? So just to give you an example, one of my favorite music apps is MediaMonkey, and I did have my music stored on my micro SD, which I plugged into my Chromebook, and MediaMonkey does not even see a micro SD slot. So yeah. Another con is, although we do have access to the Play Store and we can download apps, some of those apps do not display properly. And I did make a video about this. I'm going to go ahead and post a link of that in the description below so you can go ahead and check that out. But basically, when the apps do not display properly, it not only looks bad, but you really can't use the app if it's not showing up big enough. The other con about Chromebooks too is that a lot of them do have thicker bezels. Now this is the era where we're starting to go to smaller bezels, but not so much with Chromebooks. I noticed that a lot of them do have like a thicker bezel on the bottom here, and honestly, I know that my Chromebook is a Samsung, so it's like, could we just get rid of the Samsung logo and maybe place it lower, or maybe not even place it here at all? And if you look at a lot of reviews of the Samsung Chromebook Pro, that comes in all black, so it's kind of harder to notice the bezels, and that's why a lot of people like that. But it's pretty ridiculous that you have to have all black just to feel better about thicker bezels. The next thing I want to talk about is that Chromebooks do have budget hardware. They are a budget computer. The first Samsung Chromebook Plus that I bought, it did have a defective key, and I'm going to go ahead and post a link about that video in the description below as well. But I did exchange it for this unit here, and there are still some minor issues. So this is going to be hard to show, but I can tell you that these two hinges that help fold the Chromebook, this one here isn't lined up with this part here, or even with this hinge here. So what that means is that when you open this whole screen, it is slightly crooked, and you're not going to be able to see this in the video, and you would really have to be paying close attention to this. You would have to be very detail oriented, as I am, but if you are probably going to notice it. There is also a slight creak in this, and someone else made a YouTube video about this, and I can't remember who it was, but it's like on this side here, and I'm going to try and get it to do it. So these things aren't really all that apparent. I mean, you do have to look for them, but they are little signs that this is still a budget product. So the next thing I want to talk about is the camera, and I'm not a big webcam person. I don't do Skype or anything like that. But if you are going to be taking pictures with this, and I don't know who would, this isn't really a good camera. I mean, I think it'll be good enough to do a webcam session, but if you're looking to record video on it or take a picture, you're gonna be better off probably using your smartphone or an actual camera. And then there's one more con I can really think about here, and that's when doing heavy stuff on this, such as Android gaming, this does get pretty warm, and I notice it gets really warm along the back here, and like on the edge, on this bottom part on the edge here. The thing is, this thing is so thin, which is a pro, and that's a very good thing, but you don't really have any efficient cooling. Everything's kind of packed into this, and there's nowhere for any of the heat to go. It doesn't look like there are any vents here really, so it all kind of stays trapped in here. Now there is a thing that I want to mention that I didn't really bring up, and that was the pen. And I'm just neutral about it. It's not really a good or bad thing. It just depends on how much you use it. Now the only con I could say with this is that there is a slight amount of lag when using it on screen, but it does do a good job, and it is really precise. So anyways, this video, it may seem like there's only a few pros and lots more cons, but I really just wanted to get some more cons in there. I really just wanted to find some of the stuff that I don't like, just let people know what you're going to be looking at when you are getting a Chromebook, or even the Samsung Chromebook Plus or the Samsung Chromebook Pro. Really, I mean, those cons are not enough for me to say I don't like this at all. I really do like it. I love using it. I actually am using this more than my Windows PC, and I really only use my Windows PC for just maybe 2 things that I can't do on this. And at first I wasn't sure if that's how it was gonna go, but it actually is going that way. So all I have to say is that to me, this is still totally worth it. Again, I just wanted to point out a good amount of cons and share some of the things that I do like about it too. But you know, use all this stuff to your benefit to help you decide, and then make a good decision. So anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you can, hit the like button if you found this video useful. If you have any questions or comments, anything that I may have missed, list those below. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button to help support me and catch more of my videos coming out. Now, I'm not going to be doing too much more about the Samsung Chromebook Plus. I'll probably do more stuff with Chromebook in general. So you're going to want to subscribe just to see the kind of things that I experiment and just little tips that I'm going to share. And I'm also going to work on doing some other content, not just Chromebook stuff. So you're going to want to hit the subscribe button for that as well. So until next time, Leon checking out.